it's okay with me if people see what I'm doing after the fact, but right at the moment, it's kind of. No, I'm just kidding. But it's kind of. I don't know.
Oh,
Trying to get
you're on.
used to all this.
If they are, you saying right now in the moment?
Yeah,
In
like
this
if
moment?
they're watching right now,
They
it's kind
are,
of.
or not really, right? Because so this is on Mess Lab, and there's that, and then so once I check the sound and everything, and that's when I'll kind of share it, and that's when people start realizing, like, because I just share it to my own page, and
Yeah.
and then people go,
I'll share it for sure.
check the sound and everything, and that's like,
I
because
do.
I just
I
share it
told
to my own page.
this kind of Snapchat, but you can just like maybe we can see some question.
Okay, well, it's like that. Okay. And then, natural conversation,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it seems like these are all right around 45 minutes,
Okay.
I mean, if we're getting into it, cool. If it's short, whatever, so, but it seems like that's always about where I'm at.
Okay.
So we got to go ahead and go live. We are live now. This is on, that's on. So I'm going to go ahead and share this.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. You don't have to do the whole thing, like maybe one or two or something. That's cool. Thank you.
Okay, so there's that. And let's, all right, you comfortable?
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Who are you?
I am Lil Fresh Sam.
Okay. And what is, let me turn this off. And what's your full name?
Samantha.
Okay, right on. And it's really good to see you.
Really good to see you.
And I'm really excited to have you in here because I know that you do a lot of things, and so I'm excited to talk about that and kind of just see what you're up to. Because I know we haven't met yet, but I know of you a little bit from, say, YouTube and just online.
Okay.
I think it was a while ago. Googling fashion design Denver or something like that, and you would pop up quite a bit.
Really?
And but then I saw next thing you know, you're out in California. But I'm gonna stop doing the talking. This is not. this is about you.
No,
and so I've got a lot of questions for you, and so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Okay.
Awesome. Sounds
All
good.
right. Cool. So your name, Lil Fresh Sam.
Yes.
All right, and you are a fashion designer, fashion stylist. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So how did you get into this fashion game?
Man, it started back about 5 years ago, maybe a little more. Well, I've always been kind of like what we were saying earlier. People go to school and they go to school probably for 4 years, and then they realize, oh, I actually don't want to do this.
Mhm.
So, my high school teacher, I think at the age of 11th grade, she, I always wanted to be fashion designer.
Okay.
I was always into fashion since I could remember, like matching my shoes to my shirt. Everything really mattered to me, and it was just not normal. It wasn't just a hobby. It wasn't just a love. It was like crazy passion. And, I'm from Thornton, Colorado.
Okay.
Nobody in my family's an entrepreneur. Nobody's a fashion designer. My great-grandma was into fashion, but didn't
Okay.
really pursue it fully. But so there's no real, like, fashion designers or stylists or entrepreneurs in my family. So it was really kind of not possible. It was like, no, like, be realistic, Sam, So
Right.
11th grade, my teacher in high school, she was my, I was in a early childhood education class, and she was just like, you know what, do it. Like, why wouldn't you? You're really good, and if that's what you want to do it. And
Okay.
so she was like going to fly me out to LA to go to a school out there,
Oh.
just check it out. Like, she really believed in me, and that's all it took. Like, seriously, it took that. And
Just somebody believing in you.
Right.
Okay.
Like, just one person believing in me and being like, do it. Like, why wouldn't like, encouraging me. So, senior year goes on, and I'm like, okay, well, then, let's figure out a year where you want to, like, you got to figure out what you got to do with your life for the rest of your life. And it was pretty intense. I was didn't know what to do, you know, and I graduated high school, and at that point I was like, okay, well, you know, you got to figure it out now. So
Okay.
I didn't, and again I was like, just like trying to be realistic, like most people in my life were like, be realistic, and then like a couple, very, very, very few, less than a handful, were like, why don't you do fashion, you know?
Okay.
So it was never encouraged. I went to college. I actually took a year off after high school, traveled around the United States. I think I tried to hit a month or a new state every month as much as possible. I worked full time, and went to college because that's what my parents wanted me to do.
And where'd you go to college?
Like a little community college,
Okay.
not too far from where I live.
Okay.
And dropped out a semester after because it just wasn't for me.
Just
and,
didn't take hold.
Yeah, you know what I did learn though? I learned a very, very valuable lesson, and
Okay.
it was, you can do this yourself. You know, I would go to class every day and read out of a book. My teacher would probably read out of the book or go over slides that read out of the book. And
I know how that goes.
you know, I'm just like, I can, you know, I have YouTube, you know, nowadays, thankfully, you know, we have YouTube, we have Google, we have everything we need online. So, dropped out of high school, or dropped out of college, and then worked full time, started the business like in 2011, and that's how I got into fashion game. Never gave up, you know, just was consistent. I've released, honestly, I gotta think about how many collections I've released. I think I want to say about four.
Okay.
My first one I released January 7, 2012 at Cervantes.
Oh, wow.
It was about it is male and female, so it was about 14 pieces. I think I had seven male, 7 female, and it was a really big success. Like, it turned out really good. So, you know, it gave me encouragement to keep going,
Right.
and I'm still here, haven't stopped. So now, you know, a year ago I moved out to LA to pursue it more. What I specialize in is pretty intricate one-of-a-kind pieces. So it's like a mixture of Balmain mixed with like Alexander Wang is the goal, or not Alexander Wang, Alexander McQueen.
Oh, okay.
So it's like very interesting, intricate, like standout pieces, not for your average everyday person. So with that being said, it was really hard to find a demographic here in Colorado.
I could understand that.
Yeah, you know, it was like not really, it was liked, but it wasn't accepted, and it didn't blow up, you know, here or whatever. It just, some people got on, some people were like, oh, it's too much for me. You know? Totally cool. I get it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved out to LA a year ago and was pursuing fashion, you know, and I had been styling. I've always been really good at putting outfits together. I didn't know that was a career. And then I moved to LA. I did attend a school there. It was a fashion styling school.
Okay. So how does that work, and what kind of program is this? And
it was interesting. It was a 9-day class course, and basically some of the top industry stylists taught the class.
Okay.
And so they just give you all their knowledge, like
Very
what we were
cool.
saying earlier, you know. Wasn't for free, but it was
Sure.
Very valuable. And they also gave you their database of clients.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to intern with stylists that were styling Beyonce's sister, Solange.
Okay.
Or Solange. And, you know, Iggy Azalea. I styled a lot of different people and for a lot of different magazines, so it was great. Like, it was a really good experience. And yeah, so that's how I'm still, you know, in the fashion game, still doing fashion styling and working on my next collection.
Okay, so you said a lot of stuff there.
I know.
So I'm going to back it up just a little bit. What is the business then that you started? What is the name of your business?
Infatu.
Okay, and what does that what does that mean?
So it means infatuated in French.
Oh, okay.
Infatuated means, you know, like a crazy, strong passion of love. You know, it's like you can't even control it, uncontrollable.
And so this is so your business then, you've got fashion design,
Yep.
fashion styling. Is there another element to your business?
Yeah, so I go by Lil Fresh Sam at the moment, and that is what I do fashion styling under.
Okay.
Just, you know, your name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you make the move to LA, and you take the course, and then you start styling immediately for people out in LA. Is that how that happened? Or?
Yeah, it was really crazy. I felt like it was meant to be, and that's why I went to the school, because I moved out there in July, and the class started a month later.
Oh, okay.
And I just happened to like see an ad for it, and yeah, it was
Okay.
perfect. So.
So then what else did you learn while you were in LA?
Oh man, I'm creating a whole video about it honestly
Okay.
because I created a video you may have seen on YouTube called "Self Made,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm creating the number 2.
Okay.
It's,
Right now.
yeah, we're
Okay.
working on it right now.
Okay.
My videographer and I. Yeah, I have a lot to share. I learned so many lessons. I really grew up and I really grew. I picked up all my stuff and went out to LA solo.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have really a solid plan. Didn't know too many people. Didn't currently have a job. Like I haven't worked in corporate for over a year and a half, and so I was like, okay, well, if I can do this in Denver, I can do this in LA,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just did it, and so I learned. So much stuff. Let me try to think of my biggest lesson. Well, I don't know, because I have to really think about that. But can say I value good people. I value so many things about Denver that I didn't really because I've grown up here all my life. Like clean air, clean trash, or clean streets, no trash all over. Although we have the traffic now, I still appreciate that. It's not as bad.
All right.
Yeah, genuine people were really hard to find out there.
Okay. So then do you feel, I mean, it's just all business then out there. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not many friends, not many. That's all I did.
Okay.
All business. Every day,
Mm-hmm.
all day.
And do you feel, unfortunately, do you feel like you have to be in one of these centers, like say in LA or in New York, to work in the business that you want to work in as far as fashion design and styling? I mean, is that where you have to be then, or
so for styling, yes.
Okay.
Like you have to be. I just did a music video yesterday.
Here in town?
Yeah, here in Denver.
Okay.
And they had the budget, like an LA budget.
Okay.
But that's so rare.
Right.
And there's not a lot of production happening here.
Right.
There is a lot of rappers, but it's just not that level
Mm-hmm.
of music videos. Like, Ray J has a budget of like thousands and
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars, so they can hire on a stylist, they can hire on a full team.
And is that the project yesterday?
Not Ray J. No.
Oh, okay.
It was a project with Budokai. So shout out Budokai.
Oh, okay.
He's actually from the East Coast, but he's here in Denver.
Oh, okay.
And so for styling, I would say yes, you do have to be in LA or New York or maybe even Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because they have that consistently going on. Stylists out there are getting booked every day. There's red carpets, there's celebrity styling, there's, celebrities need stylists for everything. Like, anytime you see them in the public, they have a stylist.
Right.
Here, not so much.
Right.
But what I can do here, and what I am working on, is a collection. So I'm designing here, I have my seamstress here, I have my team here. So that's what I am doing here.
Okay. All right. And so how long is this a transitional thing? So you spent a year out in LA and now you're back. So then what is, the plan? Are you going to be here for a while? Are you going, back and forth?
Yeah, so this is good because I've never touched on this to the masses.
Okay.
It's a really kind of a personal, I don't know, question. Just because, okay, so my mom, she got breast cancer, so I'm here trying to, just be supportive and help her out as much as possible. I don't know when everything's going to be okay. She has a couple more surgeries lined up, and so I'm thinking, like, for sure till the end of the year. Her next one's in November, and then after that, I'm not too sure. So it is a transition. I'm not going to be here forever.
Okay.
I am going back to LA. I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I've built enough business there where it doesn't make sense to be here. I can't make a living fully,
Mm-hmm.
at the same level,
Right.
as there. So, yeah, I'm going back. Either, maybe I might explore New York. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like I'm just a wild little flower or something, like just
Hey.
going everywhere, So I've
not
done
a
it
bad
once.
feeling.
I can do it again.
Okay. And so when it comes to what are we lacking, here, here in Denver, Colorado, as far as, like you said, there's obviously more work on the coasts and in these entertainment centers. And so, what is it with Denver growing? What are we lacking as far as, culture, style, fashion. I mean, I feel like I see a lot of the same style around here.
Yeah.
It's a pretty safe. It's a place where you can kind of get away with a few things, but nobody steps out of the box too much.
Right.
But what's your take on this place we live currently?
Well, a couple of things. If I go out dressed like I would normally dress in LA, I get looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So I've overcome that because so if you're a fashion person, don't be afraid to really be who you are and wear what you want, because who cares?
Right.
People are gonna look either way. So
Yeah.
be you. So we're lacking a lot. We're lacking resources. There's no manufacturing here that I know of. As far as like sewing, cut and sew, you know. I have a seamstress. Not many out there though. Not doing custom or even anything besides, weddings, tailoring, quilting. So there's a lot of that going on here, but not a lot of seamstress that can, reconstruct a garment or even create a garment from a pattern.
Right.
So we're lacking that, and we're also lacking supplies. So in LA, I can go down to the fashion district, and there's 6 blocks full of fashion supplies, from everything from beads to trimming to fabric to everything you could think of, leathers, like fur, everything. It's amazing, seriously, it's heaven. But
and then also are the people there too? Like, is that also the spot that you can find? Hey, I need, like I said, a tailor or a seamstress, or it's all right there.
It's not all in the district, but it's all in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot more seamstresses. There's a lot. I mean, there's production in the fashion district, so you might walk past an alley and you see like some Asian women or whoever, but sewing, which is really cool. It's really cool. I like seeing that, so it was really cool to walk past and see it. Yeah, we're missing a lot. I mean, we're missing the brands too. I mean, there's gibberish, but they're not. They're doing outsourcing somewhere else,
Right.
No, there's not a lot of. So in LA, you will see like a lot of even screen print or streetwear. You'll see them putting LA on their clothing, right? There's not a lot. I mean, there is a lot of Denver happening, but it's not manufactured here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if it is streetwear, So we're missing a lot. But I have faith. We're growing really fast, and I think I'm trying to be a part of the fashion growth here in Denver. I'm working on a lot of different things.
So then, what needs to happen to accelerate this growth? Do you believe?
Well, I think just that, like all those things that I said was missing, and then it's hard because why? Like I would say, fashion people to be here, but why would they be here? Like what? I talked to a stylist who is actually moving here to live, but she's going to be working in LA.
Oh, okay.
So it's hard, It's like you don't, like if you're a fashion designer or a stylist, there's not much work here. Not a lot of, unless you're into, I mean, never mind. I take that back. I was going to say not a lot of inspiration, but there is, in different ways.
Sure.
There's not a lot of fashionable people. There's no Melrose. There's no, Rodeo or La Cienega, Fairfax. There's none of that. So if you're in LA, that's all the places to shop, and we don't have anything like that. We have a Broadway, which is, getting there. Where else? Larimer's, but it's not fashion.
And how do these places, like these neighborhoods that you just named, how do these affect fashion then? So you've obviously got your shops, right? And so a mix of, I'm guessing, high end, low end, everything in between. And then is that also where you pay attention to the people that are buying from those shops, or is it just the shops themselves that are the inspiration? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's well, okay, so when you're on Melrose, you can literally walk down and it's all clothing stores from like, every genre of clothing. Like I go down there and I can guarantee that I can, when I'm doing personal shopping for a client, I can guarantee I'll find it all in Melrose or Fairfax, depending on the client. So I think that's what we're missing is like kind of like a mecca, or like an area like where we can go to and just have all stores. We don't have anything like that right now. We have a Broadway, but it's not like Melrose.
Right. Yeah. It's just kind of spread out and
Yep.
No, and I've wondered about that too, because then you kind of got your Cherry Creek, which doesn't represent much, and your downtown, which really 16th Street doesn't really represent much.
Nah.
And so it's always kind of been tough to find those hubs.
Yep.
And that's where I feel like I've always kind of seen it more in the like at the bar or something, that's where you're going to kind of see a concentration, you know, like a certain bar plays this kind of music and you're going to see like the outfits or the folks that kind of go with that kind of music and the
Yep.
styling that kind of comes out of
Exactly.
that scene, which is just in a place. I don't know.
I went to Lodo's for the first time ever.
Oh, my.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm usually like in the hip hop scene or like
Okay.
those bars or venues or whatever. And it was, yeah, exactly what you just said. Totally different styles, totally different people.
Right.
Like, everything.
And if you were just go a few blocks away, you'd run into a whole other scene. And
Yep.
huh.
So that's cool. So that's exactly what we need. We need a scene for fashion like we do bars.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I sense, or I feel like we've got a little bit of that, right? Because I'll see, you know, some of these, you know, fashion shows that kind of pop up and they do the runway shows. And is that, you know, does that even matter anymore with YouTube and with, you know, everything that you can find? Does that experience matter anymore to go and sit on the runway and to watch, you know, things, you know, garments come up and down?
You know, I'm going to say this in the best way possible. It is if it's like New York. New York Fashion Week's happening right now, and it's legit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, you've seen it. If we had something like that level here in Denver, it would be worth it. Right now, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not at that level. It maybe, hopefully, is getting to that level, and I, hopefully, you know, we'll have a part in that. But yeah, I mean, the fashion show. Once again, I'm going to say this in the best way possible. It just, we're lacking a lot. Yeah. We need more professionals putting these shows together, I think. And, you know, that comes from models to the production to the location and everything that happens, you know, at a fashion show.
Okay. Now, you know, I just want to kind of ask you a couple things. What's in right now? What is in?
It depends where we're talking about. If we're in New York, something totally different.
Let's talk about. Well, all right. What's in if we're in New York? What's in New York?
Odd things, different things. Like right now, currently, high fashion is what's in LA. So LA is the streetwear capital, I guess, if you want to say it like that. New York is the high fashion capital. Okay, so anything high fashion, like, you know, like Alexander Wang, there's two. You know, I mean, there's a lot of brands that are pretty active. I think the more flamboyant, the more attracting now, which is really weird because like that's where I fit in, and I'm so excited for this to happen. But yeah, like the more like LA people, they stand out. Like it's a show. You just walking down the street and you get a fashion show because there's so many different styles, colors, patterns, textures. It's amazing. So people really stand out over there, and they really dress up every day, like head to toe. You know, it's really awesome. LA, streetwear. So streetwear. You know, with the distressed tees, black rocker tees, bleached. That's what's in. Like you see it everywhere. It's crazy. Because it's so simple. So it was like really weird to see that be like such a big trend. You know, denim jackets. Like leathers being painted on. So painting clothes is really trendy right now.
And that, when I was a kid, right, a long time ago.
80s?
Yeah, I grew up in the, 78 was when I was born, kid through the 80s, and then really trying to express myself starting in 90. And overalls with hand-painted, you know, and a lot of it was focused around, like, early hip-hop, right? So Kid and Play, or Naughty by Nature, but we had a guy in town that, you know, you'd give him your old jeans, your old overalls, and he'd paint on them, and you'd wear them to school, and people, where'd you get that?
Wow.
And, so that's in right now.
That's in.
Okay.
What's crazy about that is, so that all started in New York. Just like hip hop, you know, and when that time era was happening, I think like 80s, 90s, you know, I mean, more 80s. So my friend Fade, who's actually hopefully going to be featuring on my next collection, he invented airbrushing on clothing. So if you see that like famous picture of LL Cool J with a airbrushed shirt on, that's him.
Oh, wow.
So it was cool I actually did an interview with him, and I'm releasing a web series called The Refresh soon. And it'll be on there. So he kind of just talks about how he thought of it, and But yeah, it's in right now, so it's really cool.
Oh, that is really cool. Now, so I maybe less than a year ago, I was seeing, these headlines, and they were kind of talking about high fashion, high New York fashion, kind of moving to L.A., right? And so,
Okay.
what was it, Heidi Slimane? He was doing Yves Saint Laurent, and they were starting to kind of push into L.A. Are you seeing that? Is it just a kind of a drop in the bucket thing, or are you really seeing people kind of make a move from New York to L.A.?
I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But what I do know is there's not a lot of places you can find high fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So Rodeo, a little bit of Melrose is designated to high fashion, and then there's a couple stores in downtown LA. But yeah, I didn't see that. There is a lot of high fashion, and there's a lot of showrooms out there for stylists to pull the high fashion for the celebrities. But yeah, I didn't. It's just, I didn't see a lot of it, but who knows? Because, a lot of it is pretty discreet. I would literally have to go up to someone and, look at their label. Or, touch it to see how it's made, if it's quality, so.
Well, then speaking about quality, do you have any thoughts on fast fashion and the H&Ms and the Uniqlos and, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yeah.
I don't respect it. Actually, Zara is going through a lawsuit right now because they continually to still design. So not only
I've
are
seen
they
some of that
fast fashion, but they're stealing their designs.
Right. And I've seen what was another one, because those pins had become popular in the last couple of years, and it might have been Zara, or
it was Zara.
There was some. I feel like there was even Urban Outfitters was people were like, hey, look, these were independent designs that you've just ripped off and for your own good. Yeah, from small up and comers, and so. That's lame. So they're in a lawsuit then. No?
Yeah, they're in a lawsuit. I'm sure there's a lot of different fast fashion like H&M, H&M, Zara, Outfitters, all of them are doing the same thing, and I don't respect it. I think, well, one, I do, it takes me sometimes 20 plus hours on one piece.
Sure.
So I can't really respect someone or respect a brand or a company that, probably, and it's not even respect. It's just I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. And I'll wear it. This is Zara, but there's not, I don't respect the creativity, aspect of them, but they're great for plain stuff. Simple.
Right.
Not the best for quality. I would recommend Zara over anyone for quality.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Forever 21, if you wash that shirt, it's probably not going to be wearable.
That's going to be the last
same
time.
way. Yeah, might fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and I not hating them, and I'm not talking badly about them. I just, because I use them, for when styling, budget's small, we go to H&M. It's a great location for a variety of things, but it's all mainly simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why it's fast fashion,
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think about then? Well, how should I put it? Because are you doing your stuff by hand? I mean, is that sit down, that's cut and sew? Yep. The whole production is by hand, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Every aspect, if it's my hands or my seamstress or people I collaborate, it's all by hand. I just spent 10 hours sewing on little buttons to the whole, and just one jacket. That's what that's what the catch or the slogan of my brand is called, passion in every thread, going back to the definition of what the brand represents. And it's important to me to really make that happen and to really put a lot of love in every piece. It's not fast fashion, and it's not cheap, and it's not simple. So it is pricey, but it is worth it. If it caters to you. And
you feel like people understand the amount of time and energy that you put into what you're doing?
They will in this next collection.
Yeah.
We have we have a great team, and we'll be capturing all of that. Behind the scenes, there's videos to this next collection, and the collection is more, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want someone to find out, which is my mom. But I won't talk too much about it, but there's a lot of, the show is going to be even portraying how much work went into it. So.
Okay. All right. So do you want to say a date or anything, or just leave it unannounced?
End of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So then, we kind of skipped around, but I want to know what's out.
What's out?
Yeah.
What's hot?
What is not hot?
what's not hot? Okay.
Or what are people hanging on to that needs to go away?
There's a lot.
There
Let me think.
is a lot. And anytime, I'm still kind of amazed when I see any kind of like rhinestone-y looking back pocket, with
Right.
with the crosses and the things. I'm like, I thought that died 5 years ago, but there's still people,
The buckle's still in business
The
and
buckle.
doing great.
That's right. They are thriving. Yeah.
Crazy.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's good for Colorado. And I just actually shot for a client there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, this is why it's successful, because it's in Colorado. I mean, we have cowboys.
You're right.
We have a lot of southern, lifestyle people, I
Mm-hmm.
think, if that's how you call it. The best way to term it, but yeah, so it exists here. I didn't see it anywhere in LA.
Oh, okay.
What's out?
Something, and I'm just going to throw this out there.
Okay.
Something that I've been wondering is the Chelsea boot, because I just don't think it looks
Yo.
good on dudes. It's when it comes. I don't know. I rarely see it where I think, oh, that looks good on. And I'm talking dudes here.
But what kind of pants have they been wearing with it?
Yeah, a lot of times I just, the super tight kind of
Okay.
leg and stuff, which
Squeeze.
I don't know. And for some reason I can't shake the image of Post Malone is like stuck in my head. And
saw him wear 'em a
I
lot?
saw him, in a pair. And I was just like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just don't know. But that's just me.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't agree. Just because I do love Chelsea boots on
Right on.
guys, and girls, some that look really good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's it takes your outfit to the next level.
Okay.
I mean, you can wear it to the office, or you can go to the club right
Yeah.
after.
Right.
So it's a really good versatile boot.
Okay.
It may be the one that you saw though, because there's a lot of different styles, colors, material. So
And yeah, I am biased. I don't really like brown a lot.
So
and
did you
and
see
that's
the
what it was.
tan ones?
And it was tan. It was like a tan, and then he
Suede.
had a white outfit, and I just thought, oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
But it's just me.
Well, I guess it has to make the outfit has to be good.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
go with it. What I would say is the flannels around the waist.
Oh, ixnay.
I mean, I've never been a fan of it. I don't like it.
Okay.
Rihanna did a really cool. I think it was Rihanna or Beyonce, but they did a shirt or a dress off of it. So I think it was like the full. Maybe they obviously made it custom. Somebody did. I forgot who, but they made it so it went over the chest, but it was still wrapped around the waist. But it was just one garment, and it was a
Okay.
flannel. It was really weird. But
Interesting.
That was cool.
Huh.
Just tie it around your waist, throw a t-shirt on, jeans. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It's everybody's wearing it,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why.
Yeah. And I guess that makes me kind of think, when it comes to the internet and with the ability to see what everybody is doing, do you think that is taking some of the originality out of, people that, well, how do I put it? Right? Yeah. I mean, if you can just go on, you can find, okay, this is the style. I mean, is that helping things or hurting things if everybody is kind of being attracted to the same people and places and personalities?
That's such a good question. Me and my really good friend talk about this often because we feel like we're innovators, and I feel like it has, there's a pluses and negatives to everything. So it has its pluses and negatives, and some of the negatives are, it's like I can post something of what I'm wearing and somebody can copy it tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a brand. Man, it was like when I first started the clothing brand, I had promoted it, and I put a lot of chains on this particular jacket.
Okay.
And a friend, kind of, I don't know, you want to call him a friend, but I'd never met him. He had just been following the brand for a while, and we had talked a couple times. And the next couple of months, I saw him put out a brand. Okay, cool. And then he releases this jacket with all these chains on it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, dude, like, come on. Like, I mean, if he would have done it in a different way, I'm sure there's chains being put on jackets everywhere, but it was just the way that he did it. It was exactly the same.
I see.
So for a designer, it's tough because we are looking at other people's stuff for inspiration. We are it is accessible to everybody, and so that's, I think, hurting us as a designer. As you see, a lot of the brands look very similar nowadays, like streetwear. You may see the same design but different letters or different face, or so that is hurting us. But it is a great thing because for someone who survives off of this, we can get it out, and we can get the consumers to buy from all over the world just because of a click of a button. So that is nice. That is great. And, I've met some great people that have followed the brand, a couple of the people I knew in LA I had met, through the brand, them knowing the brand and then connecting with me. And, so for connecting people, it's great in some ways too.
So do your particular stylings and details, do you feel like, when it comes to fans and people, seeing what you do, is there a part of the world that reacts in a different, in a bigger way than others? Does that make sense? Like, are you big in Japan? Or where do you get a lot of love from?
Definitely from LA and New York.
Okay.
And then, so I have gotten orders from like Berlin. Actually, what's crazy is this guy in Paris did a whole mural of Infatu.
Oh.
Yeah, and like has sent me like pieces of it, and like I've never seen it, never been there, but it was really cool. So I've learned I have fans kind of all over the world, but there's not like thousands in Japan or like thousands in Berlin, but I'm noticing people like all over the world. This next collection I'm gonna definitely market it in like Japan and like Tokyo, cool. And like because that's definitely a market for me. They're very next level. I mean, they're the future. Like New York copies them, Tokyo
okay.
Is man, like if you for everybody watching, like if you're into fashion, go search G Dragon on YouTube and like watch his videos. You're gonna fall in love. Like he uses like, and this is like it's old because he hasn't come out with anything recently. I don't even know what he's saying, but what he's wearing is just so cool, and the concept of his videos and like it's just amazing. So
G Dragon.
Okay. So Tokyo is awesome. The whole. I mean Japan. Obviously Paris and everywhere. Europe. But yeah, I don't notice, a particular ton of fans in one location. They're kind of all over.
Okay. I do like Japanese. It kind of makes me think of like Harajuku and I used to like Bape and all that that kind of stuff. I used to really be into that, a lot more than I am nowadays. But okay.
And that still exists.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that scene over there.
And here and in New York.
Yeah.
Bape's pretty popular still.
So so if New York is following Tokyo, who else should we be looking to around the world as far as scenes and where things are popping off? I actually have heard a lot about Berlin, but
they're very fashionable.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the two that I find most inspiration from is Europe and Japan.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's this brand actually from Australia, and it's really cool. It's really next level. I mean, not a lot of people are probably into it. It's like, honestly, it reminds me of and I've talked to the girl, but I've never like asked her inspiration. But it's gotta be like alien mixed with like mermaid mixed with like future. It's crazy, dude. Like maybe we'll include a link or something, but it's just like I forgot the name. It's like Nikia or something like that. But the whole garments are all colorful, like all the colors you would not normally wear, like from pastels, a lot of pastels, but just so many in one piece. It's kind of looking at like one of those what is it?
The kaleidoscope thing,
yes.
Right?
It's kind of like looking at a kaleidoscope.
Huh, okay.
It's very cool.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
So there's so many brands, hidden little brands, or maybe even like big brands, but you really have to search for them. There's so many though, like so many brands out there.
There really are. Yeah. there really, really are. Okay, so then I know earlier you kind of said you draw a lot of inspiration from Alexander McQueen. Okay, why is that? I love that dude.
I was just watching a documentary about him last night.
Oh, right on.
Do you know that they like kind of created the Met Gala? Anna Wintour created kind of the Met Gala after him to kind of like showcase those extravagant pieces.
Oh, wait a second. Was that the documentary you watched about the Met Gala?
Yep.
What was it called? The first Monday in September? I started watching that, and then
Watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was just so innovative. He did things that weren't accepted, and
Yeah.
you know, people didn't understand him. You know, I mean, he committed suicide,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, but yeah, he just like, I mean, and so intricate. That's what I really, really love. But also him just going outside of the box. Like he had no rules. You could tell. You know? That's what I really, really find inspiration in.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I used to love. I don't know. Yeah, just you're just like, oh my gosh, look at that. And you know, he came around at this time in my life where I just thought he was the coolest thing. You know,
Really?
yeah, because before that, the guys that I were seeing were, you know, your Ralph Laurens and your what's the dude in the white Lagerfeld, and you know, it wasn't like accessible. And when I saw this guy, he looked like me, right? Because he was only a few years older than I am, you know. And it was just like I was down with him.
That's awesome.
You know, when I first saw him, but
yeah, he didn't even look like a designer.
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, he's somebody you'd pass him by on the street and you wouldn't even know, you know.
Exactly.
And then you see him sitting, you know, and showing off his stuff. But
that's crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Well, what do you got to promote? You want to, you know, is there anything you're trying to just put out there? Anything that you're working on? I know you're working on the lines, and you're working on the documentary series. Is there, you know, anything else that you want to put out there?
I would just say like follow along, like follow us on all the platforms.
Where are you at?
Instagram, Twitter, you know, Facebook if you want. And you know, for sure YouTube. We're working on a lot of videos. So that's at Lil Fresh Sam or Lil Fresh Sam, and you know, definitely the website. So the website is like out right now. Like I'm completely working on a whole new site.
And is this lilfreshsam.com?
No, this is infatu.
Okay. All right. And spell it for us.
INFATUE.
Okay.
Clothing.com.
Okay.
Littlefreshsam.com is active. You could check it out. Check out some people I've styled and locations and stuff. Yeah, so follow us on Infatu's Instagram and you know, everywhere, Twitter, whatever, at Infatu, INFATUE. But yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing currently like that I'm gonna say like go check this out. Always go check out Self Made, like if you haven't seen it on YouTube. But like we're working on so much right now, it's crazy. So yeah, stay tuned and you'll see a lot of new stuff. Fashion lovers, definitely follow along because we have a lot of information, sharing a lot of information with up-and-coming designers and just tips, you know, like on my Snapchat. Follow me on Snapchat. I'm trying to promote that, I forget. But yeah, we're just sharing a lot of tips. You know, I'm on set, and if I can share something with you, I'm going to. Yesterday we were, you know, just sharing the importance of, you know, every little detail when you're styling someone. Like, you know, you got to make sure every little crease is in the pants, you know, every little hair is off of it, you know, bring your whole pack and make sure it's good. So, yeah, I'll give you a lot of tips, and the refresh is all, kind of what we just talked about. It's a lot of, like, what's in, what's not, new upcoming brands that I find, or, you know, everything in between. It's a lot. So, I'm going to have interviews with people like Fade, who created, you know, airbrushing on clothing in the 80s, and was creating stuff for Jay-Z, interviews from up-and-coming emerging brands, like just everything in between. Like, so I would follow along and just stay tuned for more.
Okay. And I just have one, you know, what's the prediction? You got a fashion prediction for this next year? What are we going to see come in that nobody thought, you know, was going to come back?
So for other bands, well, the 80s and the 90s are in. Okay. So, you know. And
both at the same time. It doesn't matter if you're doing 80s, 90s. Can you mix them?
They're very similar, though, you know?
Yeah.
So, I see people pulling stuff from the 80s and in the same outfit 90s, you know? So, that's why I say both of them. Usually it's like one generation.
Yeah,
you know,
it seems, yeah.
At a time. So, but to me, what I'm seeing, like, is, like a lot of 80s, a lot of 90s, even with, like, shows that are out right now, like, the Get Down.
Oh, yeah, right.
Based off the 80s, right? So, and if you look at a lot of the fashion, like, Jaden, his character is wearing, like, he's very fashionable in the show. He's wearing, you know, what we're seeing today. So, like, with all the pins on the denim jackets and, like, the writing, like I was saying, the painting on the clothing. But then the 90s are in, too. Like, you know, I just saw The Game, last weekend at a show, and he's wearing like these overalls, you know.
Oh, really?
And like, so you know, they're both in.
Okay.
What can we expect? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I would just, you know, like I touched on earlier, we're at a really cool point in fashion where even celebrities, people that wouldn't normally go out of their comfort zone on certain clothing, like they are, and so they are wearing like really crazy pieces, you know, like Lady Gaga style, but like maybe toned down a little.
Okay.
And that's acceptable now, and a lot of them are open to it. So that is something we'll see. A lot of out there pieces, a lot of things we never imagined.
Now that actually, okay, that makes me wonder: is that why we need the Lady Gagas, the Beyonces, the whoever's out there, kind of stepping forward with this fashion that is not accessible? Is that why we need them, so that they can kind of say it's okay, to...
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening. That's why they, I mean, they are the trendsetters.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, Rihanna. I mean, everybody. The brands and, use these people to make it okay, I think. Because I don't think, even Alexander McQueen would have been acceptable if some celebrity didn't wear it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a gateway to the masses. And it's really weird. That's a really great question. But I don't think we would be seeing this this far and, this, I guess, evolution of fashion if it wasn't for people like Lady Gaga or Beyonce or Rita Ora, A$AP Rocky, because these people are wearing these things, and so now everybody's wearing it, which is crazy. And that's why, styling is really awesome, because I can make these looks happen on celebrities and then, see the masses wearing them.
Sure, yeah.
So it's kind of cool, but yeah, I think that really does make it okay. Seeing your favorite singer or celebrity wearing something.
Cool. What else you want to say? You got anything else you need to say?
No, I appreciate you having me on here. It was cool to finally meet you and connect and talk to you. Yeah, stay tuned for the next one. He's awesome.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming by, and look out for Lil Fresh Sam,
Yeah.
Samantha Aragon. Do you not prefer?
Nah, I don't.
You're going with...
I'm so private. It's weird. I don't want anybody to like Google me or.
Oh, okay.
Just, I don't know. I don't like people knowing my real name.
Okay.
So
All right.
pretend you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Lil Fresh Sam. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for coming by.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.